I'd like to call the Tuesday, July 6, 2021 Papillion City Council meeting to order. Ms. Barado, would you please take the roll?
Sunday, Mumgard, Gaines, Glover, Jaworski, Klug, Stubbe, Ingberg.
Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Do we have an affidavit of publication on file?
We do.
The current copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted by the door where you just walked in. We'll get a couple of presentations tonight. Proclamations to give. First one, I'd like to invite Laura Swartz and Joe Hunter up. If people are not aware, we just had Papillion Days. And tremendous amount of work by the Papillion Community Foundation. Laura's the executive director and Joe's the assistant director. And I just got a proclamation I'd like to give. Whereas the Papillion Community Foundation has provided exemplary services to the Papillion community by sponsoring and supporting multiple community events such as this year's magnificent Papillion Days and the ongoing Papillion 150 events. Whereas Executive Director Laura Swartz and Assistant Director Joe Hunter's dedication to the success of Papillion Days was critical to the community as we were able to regain a sense of normalcy following the last year of COVID restrictions. Whereas the City of Papillion gives thanks to the interns, the Foundation, Board of Directors, volunteers, and voluntolders, such as Jerry Swartz, for their generous gift of time supporting the success of Papillion Days. Whereas the Papillion Community Foundation is instrumental as a community partner and shown impressive dedication to facilitating large community events highlighting the community spirit of Papillion. Whereas the City of Papillion thanks Laura Swartz, Joe Hunter, and the entire Papillion Community Foundation for balancing the needs of the community with Papillion's small-town traditions. Now, therefore, I, David Black, do hereby honor the Papillion Community Foundation in the City of Papillion and do hereby urge all citizens to acknowledge and appreciate the valuable services provided by the Foundation to the city and surrounding community.
Just wanted to thank you guys very much, especially all of the folks sitting in the back here and all of their staffs for all they do. This is not just us. This is all of you and all of them and all of the people that they that work with them. So, we just are thankful that we were able to have it this year and that the community just came out and supported it so great, the crowd was amazing, and it was certainly for us, it's kind of getting us back to business. So we appreciate it, but I really just can't thank the staffs of all the city, all the different departments. Everybody pitches in and does a part. So thank you very much.
Thank you. The next one is Parks and Recreation. Tracy and Tony want to come up. Only got one proclamation, so you're going to have to divide it up. Whereas Parks and Recreation are vitally important to establishing and maintaining the quality of life in our community, ensuring the health of all citizens, and contributing to the economic and environmental well-being of Papillion. Whereas Parks and Recreation programs build healthy, active communities that aid in the prevention of chronic disease, provide therapeutic recreation services for those who are mentally or physically disabled, and also improve the mental and emotional health of all citizens. Whereas Parks and Recreation programs increase a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction, and are fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community. Whereas parks and natural recreation areas improve water quality, protect groundwater, prevent flooding, improve the quality of the air we breathe, provide vegetative buffers to development, and produce habitat for wildlife. Natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. Whereas the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month, and the City of Papillion maintains 1,434 acres of public space, including 25 playgrounds, a dog park, 3 splash pads, and nearly 80 sports fields, courts, and 6 public facilities. Now therefore, I, David B. Black, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the City of Papillion, do hereby proclaim July as Parks and Recreation Month. He said no. Now we got a third one. Kendra, you gotta come up. People are not aware, Kendra is leaving us. A couple of weeks ago, she gave notice. The good news is she's recruited back to where she came from, so it tells you the quality of person we've got. If we're going to lose somebody, that's the way to lose them. So I just want to give you a proclamation honoring Kendra Ellis upon her acceptance of a new position. Whereas Kendra Ellis began her service as the executive assistant for the city of Papillion on September 19, 2018, and has served for over 2.5 years. Whereas Kendra's primary responsibilities have been direct support of the mayor and city administrator, whereas Kendra's years of service have included many additional duties, for example, organizing annual staff events, the mayor's dinner, assisting the Papillion Community Foundation with Papillion Days and Winter Wonderland. Whereas Kendra has conscientiously served the city of Papillion and its citizens through her work in the mayor's hotline by answering questions and concerns, and Kendra's service also included the analysis of SIDs, helping run city council meetings, and being an active member in the city's personnel committee. Kendra's work has been highly valued and greatly appreciated through her service with the city. So we want to present this proclamation to Kendra and express our sincere appreciation and gratitude for her dedication and commitment to the city of Papillion, and wish her the best in her new job and future endeavors. And now there is a job opening. If anybody knows, the posting is out online. Administrator's report, Ms. Powers.
Thank you, Mayor Black, and thank you for that plug. The job is listed and posted, so if you know of anybody. Again, I do want to thank everyone who made Papillion Days a success. And like Laura said, it really does take a lot of dedication from a lot of different people to make the event enjoyable for all the residents. So again, thank you to everyone that did that, especially the Community Foundation, our staff. A lot of work behind the scenes to pull that off. The UBAS contractor will be back in town next week to start the laydown process. They're planning on starting on Hogan Drive and Magnolia, and then working through the area from there. And then you'll notice that there's new playground equipment that's been installed at Overland Hills Park. 3-hole disc golf course, 2 ping pong tables, and 2 cornhole courts. Thank you to Tony and his staff for installing those. They look great. And also thank you to the public for providing input through the Parks and Rec master plan. These types of amenities were ones that they identified they wanted to see as part of that study. And then also to celebrate National Parks and Recreation Month, the Rec Department is hosting parties in the park in July. There are 4 different parks that will be featured this year, and they're starting July 10th. There's flyers on your desks with more information, and also there's information online for the public on when those will be through the month of July. And then finally, the ribbon cutting for the new softball complex is July 22nd, and invitations and public notices will be put out this week for that. So keep an eye out. Thanks.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Councilman Gaines, second by Councilman Glover. Any proponents or opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
Sunday, Mumgarde, Gaines, Glover, Jaworski, Klug, Stubbe, Ingberg. 8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is item D1, Ordinance 1933, an ordinance to amend Section 16615, Vacation, of Article 2, Streets, of Chapter 166, Streets and Sidewalks, of the Papillion Municipal Code, having to do with the vacation of streets and alleys. The applicant's the city of Papillion. Is there a councilman who will introduce? Introduced by Councilman Ingberg. F1, Resolution R210113, a public hearing and a vote. A request to approve a Class C liquor license for Hy-Vee Incorporated, doing business as Hy-Vee Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, 7651 Town Center Parkway, Papillion, and a manager application for Rob Reef. It's a public hearing. I'll open it. Do we have any proponents? Is the applicant here? Okay. Do we have any? If you want to say something, you can, but you're not required to. I just want to make sure that you were here. Please. And we don't have a full agenda, so if you want to use this time for an advertisement, go ahead. Because you have one of the best places in town.
Oh, well, thank you. So I'm Jenny Ward. I'm here on behalf of Hy-Vee. So we are applying for our liquor license for a new format. It's going to be called Wall to Wall. It'll be a 29,000 square feet building. It'll have a temperature controlled walk-in wine room, tasting area, and a club room, large wine selection with a walk-in beer cooler, walk-in humidor, and a large section with specialty grocery as well. So I'm here on behalf just to answer any questions that you guys may have.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other proponents or any opponents? I'll close the public hearing. Is there a motion to approve resolution R210113? Motion by Councilman Jaworski, second by Councilman Klug. Any discussion? Please vote.
Sunday, Mumgarden, Gaines, Glover, Jaworski, Klug, Stubbe, Ingberg. 8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Thank you. And just if people are not aware, Hy-Vee is probably one of is a model for businesses that are partners in the community. So thanks for everything you do. Item F2, Resolution R210123, a resolution to adopt the 2021 Papillion, Missouri River Natural Resources District Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan Update. Motion to approve Resolution R210123. Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilman Klug. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
Sunday, Mumgarden, Gaines, Glover, Jaworski, Klug, Stubbe, Ingberg. 8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. F3, Resolution R210126, a resolution to approve the Fourth Amendment to the Titan Springs Subdivision Agreement. Motion to approve Resolution R210126. Motion by Councilman Jaworski, second by Councilman Glover. Do we have any proponents or opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
Sunday, Mumgarden, Gaines, Glover, Jaworski, Klug, Stubbe, Ingberg. 8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. F4, Resolution R210132, a resolution to approve Sarpy County's request to vacate Turkey Road right-of-way located near South 108th Street and Schramm Road in the northwest quarter, Section 4, Township 12 North, Range 12 east of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska. Motion to approve Resolution R210132. Motion by Councilman Gaines. Second by Councilman Glover. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
Sunday, Mumgarden, Gaines, Glover, Jaworski, Klug, Stubbe, Ingberg. 8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes all the regular agenda items. We've had two committees meet. First was the Golf Ad Hoc Committee. I'm not sure who the chair is. Mr. Stubbe. I'm ready.
We started out our discussion this evening with kind of the financial condition of the Golf Enterprise Fund, and we are in very, very good condition. The Golf Pro indicated that we're $370,000 to the positive, so it's a very, very good year for us so far. We talked a little bit about capital project, kind of the short and long-term needs at both golf courses. One of the items that we identified is that there's some roof issues at the Terra Hills Clubhouse, so I believe the staff is going to get started on replacing that roof. We also had some discussions with regard to the cart paths, and majority of the bad cart paths are at Terra Hills, and so there's going to be a plan put together relative to getting started on doing some of that replacement. And then we also had some discussion about the future budget and staffing for the golf courses, and I think we're proposing to have another meeting in July to talk a little bit more about what plans are moving forward. So with that, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. And Finance Administration, Mr. Ingberg's the chairman, I believe.
You believe correctly. We have three items on our agenda tonight. The first one was an opportunity presented itself for a recreation field opportunity, but it also involves a possible advertisement by the sponsor, which is a product. We are directing the staff has already been looking at it to develop a policy for the city as far as any kind of advertisement, whether it's not allowed or not, and how and what form in any of our city facilities. In conjunction with that, we're also going to do some discussion with the company in parallel to see what kind of agreement proposal may come forward that's a little more concrete. Second item we discussed was the downtown redevelopment area, specifically the area west of 84th Street on 2nd Street, that area behind the old Public Works building. We provided direction to the staff again to move forward. It's kind of been stagnant during the COVID year a little bit. We accomplished some things like purchasing the area where they have the junk storage and so forth. But we continue to work with Jerry Reimers about doing some development back there. And we need to go out for do an RFP for the old post office building because the previous interested party decided not to participate. But it's moving along, and eventually will go to the LCRA committee for further movement. But that's going to move forward. The last thing was a discussion of residential meter replacement program, which we've discussed previously. We discussed tonight specifically an opt-out program, so the citizen not want to participate in conversion into this smart meter program. The policy will continue to be developed and go forward. The only real point of contention tonight was if there's a fee, if you opt out, and if there is a fee, what should that be? And that'll be open for further discussion. We'll have another meeting about that prior to the third reading of the ordinance, because this is going to make it necessary to make a change to the master fee schedule. So we have some time to work on that. That completes our meeting. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Any comments from the floor? Seeing none. Any council comments? Just a couple of things from the last couple of weeks. Again, even though the legislature is not in session, we continue to have our monthly calls with the United Cities. Just a reminder, again, this is the perfect time if you have an idea that you think needs to be turned into state legislation. This is the perfect time to be bringing that up because we can be working on that and then trying to get that into the queue. This is the beginning of the second year of the biennium. So a lot of ideas probably won't be presented in this next session, but it does get time to get it introduced. Maybe find a committee, find some senators that are interested, and then get it into the next biennium. So if you've got any ideas of interest, let Ms. Powers or myself know. The Wastewater Agency continues to meet. Right now, it's more kind of routine business. The major activity has been acquiring of right-of-way. If you remember, we approved a change for ownership and management of the wastewater facility will be in partnership with the city of Omaha. And so the design had to be updated to move the mains from going down by a Springfield plant to being a forced main going along Platteview Road down to the Missouri River to Omaha's plant down there. The work is being done right now to acquire the right-of-way for that forced main. I think most of that's being negotiated and completed, and then the design is, I think, they're working on 90% designs, so that project's moving forward. I think those are the major updates. Reminder: next council meeting on the 20th. Before that, the audit ad hoc committee will be meeting, and then just another reminder. Ms. Stratman was able to get a coffee shop going again in the landing. So the Beanery, which is a Papillion location, expanded and has kind of a pop-up facility. And they're open, about 6 a.m. to about 11 a.m. And so if you need to meet somebody for coffee, it's a great place to come and sit by the fire and meet somebody and have coffee in the morning and support local coffee shop in the facility. Any other council comments? The only other thing, I put a presentation at your seat. I'm doing a tour tomorrow. It was kind of an impromptu opportunity that came up. There's about 6 or 7 CEOs from some pretty big companies in Nebraska that want to have an understanding of what's occurring down in Sarpy County, and so I was asked to be their tour guide. So I'm going to be getting on a bus with them tomorrow afternoon. So that was a presentation I put together to help facilitate that conversation. I think most everything in there people are aware of, but it's sometimes nice to see it in one packet and be reminded of everything we're involved in. But a lot of the data in the back of it is Sarpy-wide data, not just Papillion, so it gives you a little bit broader context on a number of items. So if you have any questions of what's in that presentation, be sure to let me know. I want to thank staff for everything they've done to help pull that together as well. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilman Gaines, second by Councilman Glover. Please vote.
Sunday, Mumgarden, Gaines, Glover, Jaworski, Klug, Stubbe, Ingberg. 8 yeas, 0 nays.
We are adjourned.